Peace and love. This is Brother Dooley, aka the Bean Shaman, simply known as Mr. Dooley. Glad I'm making this video today. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I just came back home, and I don't know how long I might be able to make this video because my two children are sleeping, taking a nap, and if they wake up, I gotta, spend some time with them because I just came back. I was out of town, and this video is about, real briefly, about working with the Iboga medicine, and I just wanted to share briefly my experience with it, with the medicine. And my teacher, he told me that this medicine is going to be working on me, several days after I take this. I still feel the medicine in me. But, there was some people that were interested in this medicine, and I just wanted to briefly just talk about it for those who, my friends and some of my family members who are interested in this medicine. Yeah, peace. What's going on, family? First and foremost, like I said, I'm going to make this kind of quick because I don't know how much time I have. First and foremost, I learned about Iboga or Ibogaine so many years ago when I read the book Supernatural by Graham Hancock. Interesting book, very interesting book. And there was a chapter on Ibogaine or Iboga, and that was the first time I heard about it through reading that book. And in the description of the book, it was talking about how gratitude to you, yeah. In the book, it was talking about how it could be considered a time travel plan, So I was very intrigued, and then I also heard a lot of things about Iboga helping people with drug addiction and dealing with substance abuse. So I was very interested in learning about this shrub, this tree, and especially where I grew up. I'm from Boston, from the Bean Town, and there's, there was like an old, what movie was it? I think it was Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, where I think Jim Kelly was like, basically he was on the boat and he was looking at, he was in China or whatever, and he was seeing the ghettos out in China, and he was like saying how every part of the world have its own ghetto, you know what I mean? So we might live in different places around the world, but it's still dealing with a level of the haves and have-nots, you know what I mean? So, in the area of Boston where I grew up, which is Roxbury, I grew up where there was a lot of substance abuse, a lot of, crack cocaine. A lot of my friends, some of them were dealing, to survive and do different things. So I've seen a lot of that growing up, which is very uncommon, and which is very common in other parts of the world, especially in the 80s, where the crack was really flooding the black community and other communities. And so hearing about Iboga and seeing how it can help with drug abuse and different things like that, I was very interested because I was like, hey, this can help clean up the streets. You know what I mean? A lot of people talk about the opioid crisis. There's, the beautiful thing is that there's medicine out there that can help people. So that was my initial interest in the Iboga. Real quick, let's make this real quick. Fast forward, I have a great teacher. I'm not gonna say his name because there's no need for me to. But this man is a very strong man, a very strong elder, and I just feel humbled. I feel a lot of gratitude, that great spirit, my higher self, allowed me to be able to find these people or have these people find me. And to sit at the feet of some of these masters, man, and to learn, you know. So it was a great day of ceremony, great day of ceremony, and I was there with another fellow friend of mine who's very well known on the social media platform. Um, I don't want to disclose his name either because I don't know if I have permission to tell his story or not. But I'll just stick with my story. But we both, was going through this journey together with the elder, and I'm both of these men, very older than me. So I was just sitting there with basically my uncle and this great father figure. So basically, before I even came in, by the way, entering this man's domain, entering this man's place where he stayed, he's a priest of many different traditions, So he's he deals with the Ifa tradition. He's a priest of the Ifa. He's a priest of Palo Maambe, which is from the Congo. He's a priest of dealing with the Betwee tradition and with dealing with the Iboga or the Iboga. So when you go into his living space, and you enter his home, there's literally a shrine in every corner of his space. You know what I mean? You go over here and see this particular shrine, that particular shrine, and it's beautifully. It's just he has a beautiful home, and just walking in his home reminds you of the sense of Mama Africa, and a lot of just artifacts and a lot of artistry there, hanging on his wall and different things. Seeing artifacts from Mali, seeing artifacts from the Congo, different things, and it's just the resonance of all the art and different ancient things around you sitting in his home kind of brings you into that whole environment, that vibe of Mama Africa. And so before we even started, first of all, before I even entered his home, he said, Dooley, when you come up and you come into the home, I want you to be quiet, just to set the vibe. Shh, a lot of people that know me know that I have a lot of energy sometimes, my birth sign's Pisces. So there's a lot of, and then I think I have some Sagittarius in there and different things. So my wife, she's very good at the astrology stuff. She's breaking it down. Hey, little mamas. My daughter just woke up. How you doing? I'm making a quick video. And you were in a journey last night with me too, didn't I? Which is good. You're a little shaman, a little medicine woman. Come sit with me after I speak, all right? Go put a shirt on though, okay? And then you come back, okay? Go put a shirt on, mamas, okay? So what's interesting is, don't wake your brother up. What is interesting is that, he's like, shh, I know you have energy that could fill a room and all that, but I want you to be able to have yourself nice and grounded and prepared to meet your ancestors. So, when I took the elevator up and seen him open up his apartment door, man, I was just, my eyes, yes, the elder, may give him a bit. It's like, shh, remember, So he started with a gong session. So He has this humongous gong, and this elder would always tell me, if you're gonna do some medicine work, if you're gonna do if you say you're a medicine man, medicine woman, or what have you, you should definitely have an instrument. You know, he would always would emphasize this. You know what I'm saying? That, and if anyone does study um, shamanism or anything like that, and we know shamanism is a term from Siberia, but if you ever, hold on one second, my daughter's calling me. 1 second, I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta just check on, see what's going on with her. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. My apologies. My apologies, family. I had to go check, and my son just woke up too, so I'm gonna have to go through this real quick. Yeah, but the elder says, if you're dealing with this type of work, you have to have an instrument. You know, he always told me, sit with a drum, get a drum that really calls you, rattle, what have you. Because people that deal with medicine work, people that deal with the medicine path, they are masters of trance, you know, and there's numerous ways to put yourself in a trance like experience, you know. What is it, Denara? Um, some people use the art of dancing. Some people use the musical instruments. And some people use the sacred plants, fungi. So it's whatever calls you, into that experience. But what's interesting that I found with Iboga is they call this the father medicine. They call this the grandfather medicine. Some people call ayahuasca the mother medicine, mama ayahuasca. And then and when you deal with Iboga, there's a lot of people say it's a very masculine energy. Um, yeah, and I could see that in my experience. Um, what's interesting is that he had them in capsule forms, all right, and he used a pendulum to see how much medicine a person should be taking. So last time I sat with the Iboga, I kind of microdosed, and he gave me 2 capsules which I took in my home, and I didn't really feel anything the first time. I felt a more dream. It kind of felt like I was a little dreamy like or whatever, but that essentially was it. This time sitting with this elder, I told him, I was like, yep, I took two capsules. So he said, okay, well, let's increase the dosage and see what we're gonna work with here. So at first he gave me 3, and I was feeling something, but really not feeling so much. So I asked if I could get some more. So then we went to 4. And then after 4 capsules, I started to feel a little vibration, frequency in my third eye area, and I kind of felt some of the energy coming on, but I know I needed to go deeper. So I asked him if I could get some more. And then he gave me another one, which was 5. And of course, he was using his pendulum before before he would give it to me to see just to check in, because Iboga can really take you out there. This elder talked about how his first experience, he was in that with sitting with that medicine almost 38 hours. He said, and definitely had a big breakthrough along the lines of a near-death experience. So it really had a big effect on him when he really first got in serious with that medicine. So he wants to. So when he's dealing with people, he wants to make sure everyone's safe and at a place where they're okay with their process of this healing. So he would use the pendulum, to check in. So eventually, long story short, I end up taking about seven capsules. Yeah, 7 or 8. Yeah, I think it was 7, if I'm not mistaken. Because once I got to about 7, it was something else. He had the beat tweed music being played in the background, and of course he had his own instruments that he had there. And the music, like many other cultures that utilize their own particular healing plants and stuff, have their own music to coexist with the medicine. So for instance, when you look at the people dealing in Peru and stuff, they have their own particular words of power or their own music. They say the Iquiros. So, and sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right, Iquiros, Icaros. Excuse, I have to apologize on that. But those are the sacred sounds. Those are the sacred words that activate the ayahuasca. And I sat with some medicine people in Brazil where they would use, the orishas and activate the ayahuasca. So there's so many ways to approach it. The instruments and the chants within the Betwi tradition, it just seems like it would activate the Iboga more. My own personal experience. What was interesting is that I felt the medicine traveling through my whole body. So after I started feeling the activation of the third eye, all of a sudden I started feeling the medicine travel all through my body. And I could feel it pulsating, like it was healing different places within me. There was some things that I experienced that I can't share with y'all listeners because it's just my own personal lessons within my own self. But there's about 3 things I will share with y'all that was very interesting. One is that I went and I traveled. I was basically in the spirit world at one point, not one point after, started to real go deep. I was totally immersed in that spirit world. And there was a time where I was traveling, right? One point I went through this, it looked like it went into the underworld, and I went through this gateway, which was like a black void, and then I reappeared on another side. But then after that, I seen a point where I seen this tree, right? It was moving so fast, and it was a being or someone that tried to distract me from the tree. But then there was something where I double backed and went, and then it was like this tree that was glowing. It was magnificent. It was so beautiful. And I jumped into the tree, and when I went into the tree, it was like I went into this. Only way I could describe it is when I went into the tree, it was like I went inside and I traveled, and then from traveling in, I expanded out. And when I expanded out, it was like energy that went across the universe. when I was coming down from the medicine, and I was talking to the elder, and he was asking us some of the things that we were seeing, I described that particular situation in the spirit world to him, and he said, Dooley, I am so proud of you. He says, you went to the universal tree, you know, because Iboga is, it's a shrub, it's in Gabon, near the Congo, and, look at the Congo, that's the jungle, What I'm realizing is that any place that you go on earth that has an immense jungle, there's so much plant medicine there, and when you eat, and basically Iboga, you're eating the tree. You're eating a tree, all right? So you're eating a tree, and so me to connect and see that tree and jump into the tree was confirming that I made contact with the spirit of Iboga, okay? Um, yeah, and I mean, these medicines have a consciousness of their own, you know. Even the elder, before I left his home, he was letting me see this film, this documentary on mushrooms, and how the fungi has has such a big role in even into the creation of things here on this planet. You know, from this documentary, they was talking about the spore network. You know, and saying how even with the 5 times that this world was destroyed, it was renewed through the fungi, you know? And just even watching that this morning before I left to get back on the bus, I'm just in awe. I'm just amazed on how, when you look at these natural intelligence, how they're able to break down things, rebuild things, you know. This is the same thing that these plant medicines do as well. They're tearing down your ego. They're tearing down the false you, and they're rebuilding you. You know what I mean? It's like even my teacher, he said, that persona, Dooley, that you think you are, that's not you. You're not Dooley. That want to make everybody happy, want to be this silly type of guy for people. And it is a jokester in me. But on the other hand, that's just a persona. That's just a personality that I display for the world, you know. But then there's a point where you come beyond all that stuff, man. And you realize that you can connect with the divine, and the divine goes beyond all that stuff, you know. In the tradition, the Ifa and what the elder deal with, that's dealing with Obatala, that's dealing with Olodumare, that's dealing with, if you're dealing with the Sufi tradition, I tell you, Allah, Allah, Elallahu, you know. And I remember I was even reading, listening to Brother Sufi or Sheikh Sufi. That's another good comrade, good friend of mine. And, Sheikh Sufi, I was listening, like, I think it was a video of him saying the 7 stations of the soul. And he was talking about, or the 7 stations of spirit, he was talking about how you start to get into a place where you and the divine merge and become one, and your thoughts become Allah, your actions become Allah, your words become Allah, So it's a different thing going on beyond that persona, and I must admit, that the elder really gave me a good level of discipline yesterday. He did not let me pass with one bit at all. You know, and I get it. I get it. He's like, yes, it's time, man. He's like, when you're serious about this path, you got to clean up your act. You know, and there was a lot of things that he let me have it, and I appreciate that. You know, it's so important to sit down with elders who have done the work. Because they're a storehouse of wisdom. And a lot of times, you know, especially in the world that we live in, especially in the Western world, there's no more of a reverence for the ancestors. There's no more reverence for the elders, and we have to look at that, man. We have to try to bring that back, And also, what he really emphasized was that he says before you could go to other people's medicines, he says honor your own ancestors. He says honor, if you're a person of color like that, he says understand the importance of knowing the medicines in Africa. He said there's nothing wrong with understanding other medicines. If, say, for instance, from China or Mesoamerica or anywhere, other places where other particular races or cultures hold their medicines, is great. But if you're a Chinaman or Asian, take pride in your culture and learn about those medicines, and then explore other parts of the world and learn about this stuff. But know about your own foundation. And I couldn't help but disagree with the elder, because there's a special thing within your own family lineage. There's a special thing. We all have our own gifts from our own ancestors and stuff, So it was going back to Mama Africa that evening, two other things that really came to me, man, was somebody's making a comment here. Two people are making a comment. Let's see here. You said there was a mushroom guy in Detroit, right? Yeah, that's Baba Kalindi Yee from Detroit. Very interesting man. And lots of mushroom men laugh. Okay, laugh out loud. Yeah, that's Baba Wolawo. Excuse me. That's Baba Kalindi Yee. All right. That's Baba Kalindi Yee. Very, very good man. All right. Yeah, and he explores very high dosage of mushrooms and really explores that whole science. But real quick, because I have to get going. Hey, what's going on, Mama? So I'm almost done. That's nice. Check you out. One thing was that I learned a new method of healing that evening, which was interesting, because like what a lot of these teaching plants, fungi, a lot of these different things do is they increase your resonance. Yeah, they increase your resonance. They increase your energy. Okay, 1 second. Let me put this back. 1 second. Let me go put this movie on for them, and I'll be right back. And then I'm gonna finish up. 1 second. apologies. My apologies. This is what you have to do when you're a parent. Sometimes you gotta you gotta just take care of the business. But thank you for holding on briefly like that. I learned a new thing with a new method of healing. I've been doing Reiki and different types of healings over the years, but this happened to me probably one other time, but not as intense as this time. There was a point where my homie that was there, I call him my uncle that was there, who was taking the medicine with me, and he he noticed that the elder had he had some like something going on with his foot, with one of his feet, and he had like a swelling that was near near his big toe. You know what I mean? And so he said, "Oh, he said to the elder, would you like me to do some healing on it?" And as soon as he started doing it, I thought, well, maybe let me join in and help him with some of this healing too. So I didn't expect the energy to come out of me like that. You know what I mean? When I just started, and again, when you're taking this medicine, you're entering your higher self. You're entering certain things even about yourself that you're not aware of. So I just started the sound just started coming out of me like, and then I was taking these real deep breaths and stuff, right? And by the way, I've been really doing a lot of Wim Hof. I've been doing a lot of holotropic breath work, and I've been doing a lot of work with the Wim Hof technique. They call him the Iceman. This guy has been known to swim in icy lakes, and walk on high snow-covered mountains with just his shorts on. It reminds me of the technique in Tibet called the Tumo technique, where it's a technique which rises your temperature up, all right? Where some of these monks could be on the Himalayan mountains and all around snow and ice and at temperatures beyond freezing. And these guys were able to heat their body without becoming, dying or freeze to death or anything like that. So I've been exploring a lot of these breathing techniques lately. So during the Iboga ceremony, I'm doing this breathing and this sound, right? And as I'm doing this breathing, my hand starts to vibrate uncontrollably. It was crazy. It was like, and the resonance that was coming out of my hand, out of my hands was bananas. I mean, first of all, in my mind's eye, I seen something that shot out my hand that looked like if you see in the movies and sometimes somebody's going to get an X-ray or kind of like not even that. That's not a good description. Like where the person goes in the machine or they go in to get some chemotherapy or something, and you might see something go over their body like boom, boom, something like that. I don't know how to describe this, but it seemed like on a etherical level, like there's something that shot out my hand that went over his complete leg and it scanned the whole thing. And then I seen these cross type of things that were going through his leg, and it was like opening up the leg for whatever needed to go in there and be healed. And then after my hand was vibrating like crazy, my fingers started going uncontrollably like this. You know what I mean? And I seen sparks of things that looked like lightning that came out of my fingertips, and they started seeping into his muscle tissue, into certain parts of his leg, man. And by the time, it was a point where my uncle went out to use the bathroom. He came back in, and then when I was in that zone, he's like, "Yo, Dooley, the swelling that was on his foot went completely down, man. Did you just see that?" And it was just, we was just both in amazement. He said, "I've seen a lot of people do energy work and qigong, but he said I've never seen anyone do such an intense, thing like you just did right here." And I was like, "Have you?" He's like, "Have you done this before?" I was like, "No." I was like, "This is something I feel like I'm just discovering right now through this Iboga." So it was very interesting, and a part of that I seen when I was activating that seemed like it was these ancient mudras that were coming out of me, which which I seen in other ceremonies before. I seen this once at a Mama Aya ceremony where I would go into these spontaneous um, movements. You know what I mean? But I noticed last night I was doing these spontaneous mudras, and they were activating things in me for the energy to come out even more stronger. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just amazing, man. I'm still, I'm still in that zone from the medicine, and because it was just from last night. So I'm kind of here. I'm not so much here too. You know what I mean? But it's a beautiful, 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 beautiful medicine. Oh yes, another thing, the drumming. I didn't know that I was a drummer. Growing up, I didn't really have a lot of musical instruments and all that. It didn't went off again. Okay, 1 second, y'all. What was that? Why is it not playing again? Hold on 1 second, y'all. You got one. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Why is it not playing? Come on. Don't kiss me. Come on, come on. All right. You got one, kiss me. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But I realized that that I could drum. No, he had this one particular drum, man, that it was beautiful, man. It was this long. It was not like a. It was a wooden type of instrument with like this goddess head on it, and it was long and it had a, you know, it was open in the middle, and I had the two sticks, and we was in the zone, and he just started giving us some instruments. So, man, I went into this zone with this rhythm, man, and started doing. He's like, and then he asked me, man, he's like, "Are you a drummer?" He said, "Have you experienced with drum?" I was like, "No." I was like, "No, sir." I was like, "This is just coming out of me right now." And then it got moments where he said, "Slow down, Dooley, now, you know, because this is about a symphony, you know. This is not just one man player." So even within the music, everything's so on timely and so in sync that it's to let you know, even in the reminders, that it's not about you. It's not about your ego. It's not about you going into a place like, "Oh, look, wow, and look what I could do in here," and not necessarily that that's where my mind was, but even if I ventured off in a subconscious way, it's still to pull you back and say, hey, it's about the sympathy, it's not the symphony, you know, and the position we all play to have this elaborate experience called life, you know. Someone made a comment here. Hold on. Alrighty. Let's see here. Okay. Research. Yeah, I did yeah, I know I did a quick research trying to find some and couldn't. Guess I gotta dig dig deeper. So I was trying to go off of a name he mentioned in another video. You're black, of course you can jump, of course, right? Blacks have the rhythm, right? I got some ayahuasca coming soon. Looking forward to the experience. I'm thinking about doing Kambo first before touching it. Yeah, Kambo is very good, man. It cleans you out, cleans you out. It's a detox medicine, man. I actually gave some Kambo to the elder, um, for him to when I parted ways, because I wanted to give him some things, for my gratitude for helping me. And yeah, combo is it resets the your body, man. It really cleans you out on many different levels. Last time I took combo, man, I felt like my whole entire body was itching uncontrollably, and I could feel like parasites coming out of my skin. It was something else. But yeah, that's a very powerful medicine, the frog medicine combo. It's a good clean out, cleans you out mentally, physically, spiritually. The natives would consider that panema, dark energy. Getting rid of the things that no longer serve you. Or if somebody's throwing juju or throwing a hex at you. You know, the elder sitting with the elder. He let me know, and my uncle know straight up and down. He's like, you're dealing with a witch doctor. You know, and he said, a witch doctor is one who knows how to deal with people who like to throw, negative curses at people and things like that. And that's more of dealing with more of the tradition of Palo Maambe, which he a priest of too, And it's funny, at one point, I was, he has different, like I said, different shrines in different areas. So at one point, you know, the the Palo, the Palo, um, the Palo intelligence, those intelligences, called out to me. I looked behind, I felt their energy, and I looked, and then I looked at the pot, you know, and I'm not gonna describe everything like that, but they called out, and I was like, oh, and powerful, powerful energies that were coming from that, and I turned around and we started having a telepathic communication there, and they basically was filling me out, telling me, who are you, in here, you know, and I started introducing myself, and they said, oh yeah, we're the spirits of the underworld, and they would just went into this whole thing, man, but very interesting, very interesting. Somebody else made a comment here. I'm from Detroit, by the way. Nice. Okay, J Dub, Detroit in the house. Yeah, rhythm. Yeah, and the brother that made a comment early on there, rhythm, man. I mean, there's many prophecies that I think it was the Hopi that talked about the Rainbow Tribe, where all the different races during these times would come together. You know, that widow, the awakened ones that would come together. And I think these different cultural and ethnic groups, we all have our own special gifts, you know, and as individuals and as collectives, you know. So when we look at the collective experience of black folk, melanated folk, man, it's like you said, that's the rhythm, you know, that's the rhythm. You know, we you know, we're masters of dance, we're masters, you know. What's up? So yeah, it makes sense, you know. And there was some other things that happened. All right, kiss me. I'm about to get off here, okay? um, 1 second, buddy. There was some other things that happened, but I'm not going to disclose those things because they were a little more personal, but they were amazing. You know, they were amazing. And I was so happy, so happy, so happy to experience this. I mean, very, very happy. Very happy. And I would like to sit with the Iboga again. I would love to learn more about it so eventually I could teach people on how to administer it. Help guide them along the way, you know, and interpret certain things, you know. Yeah. But also too, it was interesting. Hold on 1 second, Papas. One thing that was interesting. Hold on 1 second. One thing that was interesting was that. Hold on 1 second, kiss me. One thing that was interesting is that learning the elder of sharing after you come down from the experience so you can interpret the these symbols and the archetypes that would come to you. So that's something that's important, you know, sitting down with the medicine person afterwards and sharing your experience. So yeah, you know, even when I shared about this particular goddess that I seen on the journey and how the elder related to me, that was a big, you know, important connection to Iboga, what I seen. So it was, again, it was very, very powerful, very, very powerful. And for those out there who want to experience that, and say, for instance, you haven't found the right person in your city, you know, go to Gabon itself, man. Go to Africa itself. You know, save up a little bread, man, and you know, save up some bread, y'all, and get your money up, get on that plane if that's what you need to do, and go experience it. If you have that calling to come to you, experience it. You know, and like the elder said, for those my brothers and sisters out there of African descent, of indigenous descent, you know, those who have a calling of this, yes, I think even Baba Kalindi said there's over 300 known ethogens that the South African Zulus even deal with, you know. So there's a wealth of knowledge that resides in Mama Africa. And the things that she has to offer is amazing, man. It's very humbling, very beautiful, very transformational. Man, it's just like, I really hope everyone out there can experience these things, man. Because it's life-changing. And at the end of the day, no matter all the obstacles and the different things that come our way, you know, there's things out there that go beyond the suffering. There's things out there that allow you to know how to tap into your natural birthright, you know, which is divinity, you know. So I have a lot of much more healing I have to do, a lot of much more things I have to work on. And I accept all these challenges. I accept all these things for my own growth. You know, the things that even the elder told me that I have to do before I go deeper, you know, with the initiations and different things. I have homework to do now. So there's more things I have to do so I can continue my own personal journey. You know, there's going to be many videos that I have made in the past. Some things that I don't agree with anymore, you know, and that's all a sign of growth and change. You know, there's might be things I say might seem like it's contradicting, you know, but there's always room for growth, you know, and there's always room for refinement. So, yeah, man, that's it, y'all. So I'm gonna continue with my day. I'm gonna continue with my day and take my little ones out to the park and just take it easy today because I still feel like I'm in that zone. And I really hope that me sharing my story or my experience with y'all, I hope that I hope that it might spark some interest in those who are serious about learning about this. I hope that it might even help some people that might have had similar experiences that lets them know, aha, yeah, this stuff, you know, is real. And I hope that even if my teacher, I hope he doesn't find it, you know, offensive that I'm sharing this, because as I'm learning even from the elders, a lot of this stuff, it's like this, you know, those who know, they don't speak, you know, about these things, you know. So it's from initiate to initiate, you know, from student to teacher. But I feel compelled to share because, you know, for the sharing, there's many people out there that can benefit from it, and might, who knows, that might come across the video and be like, oh, okay, wow, I never heard of Iboga before. They ain't look into that. Just like that book, Supernatural with Graham Hancock, you know, which, you know, sparked my interest when I read the chapter on Iboga. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to study and things that I have to do, man. And oh yeah, there was also during the Iboga ceremony, there was a sense of really loving myself, you know, fully, you know, and I'm proud of that message too, you know, because there's a lot of things, society, all kinds of stuff that could beat us down and think we're not worthy or not good enough or not smart enough or any of these things. And again, these teaching plants, these fungi, these different intelligences, they're there to kind of bring you back home, man. They're kind of there to bring you back to who you truly are, you know. So yeah, man, that's what's up. So I'm gonna click off now and hope y'all have a great rest of your day or night or whatever time you're watching this. And okay, let's see here. All right, J-Dub, there's some comments here. Could ship you some shrooms. Check you out, bro. Yeah, let's keep the communication going with each other. Help each other out. All right. Someone says thanks, bro. You're welcome. You know. Peace to you too, my friend. J-Dub Run 7006. Vinny says I'm going to dive into some ethogens today. Thanks for the message, bro. Much love. No problem, Vinny. All right. Thank y'all for listening, man. And if y'all find my video was cool or whatever, meaningful in some way, then please share with other folk. And Yeah, man. Take it easy, all right? Peace, y'all. Y'all take care.